To be honest, I'm a huge fan of dragons. That's why it doesn't really make sense that it took me so long to watch How to Train Your Dragon. I had seen the Rotten Tomatoes rating, and I'd seen plenty of YouTube videos telling me how good it was. There just wasn't something that really grabbed me. That was until DreamWorks did it again. The release of Wild Robot, which brought back what a lot of movies nowadays are scared to do. Be able to relate to the adults watching. Once I realized that now I too am an adult, I immediately wanted to see what DreamWorks could be at its very, very best. So naturally, I went and watched Boss Baby. After that, I tried How to Train Your Dragon on a whim. And holy shit, what a movie. Two unlikely friends, the story of Toothless and Hiccup. A story of growth, trust, and friendship. These two characters are what truly stood out to me. A profound relationship that feels so natural that it could be real life. This relationship somehow executed in a kids movie. Today, let's talk about exactly what DreamWorks did to create an incredibly believable, unbreakable bond on the silver screen. Quick spoiler warning for the events of How to Train Your Dragon 1 and 1 only. I haven't watched 2 or 3 yet, so if I do say anything that doesn't click anymore, then don't beat me up too bad. Okay. The first interaction between Hiccup and Toothless takes place during a fiery battle. We have here an island of Vikings who, instead of moving places, decide to battle it out with the most threatening species on the planet, dragons. Hiccup, who is an undersized Viking boy, takes his little catapult that he built out to the battle. Hiccup sneaks out of town, just as the Night Fury sneaks into town. What is a Night Fury, you ask? Just the most powerful dragon known to Vikings. He's terrorized the island for years and has never been killed or even seen before. Now, our guy Hiccup is able to take him down with his weapon fairly easily. Too bad for Hiccup though, because he is not able to finish off his kill yet. On his way back home, he messes up the town and gets told off by his father for his lies about killing a Night Fury. Eventually though, he makes his way across the island to where he shot the Night Fury down. He walks up to see a black-scaled, green-eyed beast, barely alive. Then, of course, Hiccup does what any Viking would do. He picks up his very small knife and shakily steps forward towards the dragon. The thing is, right as he's about to go for the kill, his compassion doesn't let him. And that's a pretty nice moment there. So, let's just walk away and go tell the town that you just shot down. Wait, Hiccup? What are you doing? Don't cut this thing loose, Hiccup. This is not gonna go well for you. Hiccup is not making a very smart move here. The dragon leaps on him, and as Hiccup sees his life flash before his eyes, the dragon does something unexpected. Immediately, Hiccup starts to realize that this species is a lot smarter than he initially thought. Though Hiccup's decision is not driven by logic, it reflects that Hiccup has a very big and possibly stupid heart. It was quite the risk to not only refrain from killing the Night Fury, which would make him the first Viking ever to do so, he also lets the dragon go free. Looking past this major risk from Hiccup, the Night Fury shows the same compassion that he does, deciding not to light Hiccup's body on fire. These acts will set the tone for the relationship's future. He also finds out that the dragon is half tail wingless. Although tailless might make a better name because the dragon does have teeth, Hiccup shares some fish with Toothless. Now we learn a bit more about this being. He shares some of his meal with Hiccup, which to a lot of kids would look like a very gross and funny moment. But for adults watching, it becomes an interesting one. He looks like he's treating Hiccup as an equal, which for now is the much less dark reason he's doing this. Later in this movie, we learn something about the dragon's food supply that will change the meaning of this scene a little. For now, this meal represents breaking down some barriers and beginning the process of mutual respect. As Toothless and Hiccup's situation carries on, we see some moments of connection over more things than food. Toothless drawing in the dirt here looks like a playful move, but it's really just imitating Hiccup's creativeness. Toothless makes a complex drawing, and although the ability for Toothless to use tools does not come up again, his smarts become more clear. Oh, you remember how I said this dragon was missing a tail wing? Hiccup, luckily, is an inventive man who's quite good with tools, which apparently is of no use to this society? I mean, I thought the catapult was alright. Took down a Night Fury on the first shot. Hiccup easily crafts a tail wing for Toothless that is controlled by a human rider. Hiccup successfully gets Toothless in the air and even gets him to understand some commands after a while. Okay, after a long while. Eventually, Hiccup and Toothless get the hang of it, and a terrifying sequence turns into a beautiful one. This first flight deepens the trust between the two, and this music amplifies the feeling of emotional connection.
Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy.
This shared experience brings the two's relationship much beyond mutual respect. Not everything is perfect, though. Hiccup is taking many risks for Toothless because he's seeing him very often while also going to this Viking school, a school where he's learning to kill dragons. Toothless's way of giving is helping Hiccup with his tests at dragon school. He teaches ways for Hiccup to take down dragons without physical skill. Now, this is not exactly Toothless taking a risk for Hiccup, but he seems to be willing to trust Hiccup enough to keep seeing him. As Hiccup gets better and better at his unorthodox methods in Viking school, some people are becoming mad. A curious Viking follows Hiccup on one of his dragon training visits. Now this Viking is Hiccup's love interest, named Astrid. Hiccup likes her, but Astrid is very angry with him. She's not a big fan of his dragon stopping methods. She expects some type of cheating, but no. Of course, Astrid is met with a dragon in her face. Toothless does not know that Hiccup loves Astrid. He also has every reason to hate any other Vikings. He immediately gets in place to defend Hiccup. Although I don't care for Astrid too much, I am glad that Hiccup doesn't let Toothless burn her. But she definitely has a bit of an attitude, so the two take her and drop her at the top of a tree. So, I don't think it's completely warranted when Astrid has to say, "I'm sorry." Doesn't matter what I think, though, because when Toothless hears these words, he straightens up and flies right. Ignoring the mental abuse on Astrid, this takes a lot of trust from Hiccup to let Toothless take his love interest on a joyride. That's a gutsy-ass move, as he does know that this is still a Viking killing Night Fury. On the other side of the coin, Toothless is trusting Hiccup to a crazy extent. To let another Viking on your back just because this guy tells you it's okay? At this point, it's clear that Toothless and Hiccup are no longer interested in their own self-preservation. Hiccup doesn't need to trust Toothless in order to pass his classes, and Toothless doesn't need to trust Hiccup to make him fly again. They want to do these things, not for themselves, but for each other. This notion only gets more and more obvious as the story plays out. Hiccup's act as a successful Viking student is coming to an end. For the final, he has to actually kill a dragon, not just lull them to sleep or threaten them with eels. He uses it as an opportunity to show that dragons are not dangerous. His plan is not working too bad. There is just one problem, though. He did not factor in how loud Vikings can be. The dragon in front of him becomes startled and begins to chase Hiccup around the ring. Now, while Hiccup's running around like a madman, dodging and weaving this fire-breathing beast, I want to say that Hiccup did just take a risk unlike many could. This is not just a risk to his social status. Having a creature in front of him that he knows is dangerous and still having the guts to stand up for dragons. Despite the attempts from Astrid and his dad to save him, he's pinned down by the dragon. Right before it gets the kill, Toothless swoops in and does not hesitate to attack his own kind. Saving Hiccup's life, Toothless battles it out with the other dragon. Now Toothless did just take a risk, unlike many could. This is not just a risk to his social status. having a Viking army in front of him that he knows is dangerous, but still having the guts to stand up for his friend. Although too bad, it makes sense that after Toothless gets the easy W, the Vikings don't hesitate to attack him. Hiccup yells in an attempt to protect him, but it's too late. Toothless is captured. This is the cost for successfully saving Hiccup's life. Although, thinking about this whole situation now, Hiccup, if you're gonna reveal that dragons were good, why not just bring the dragon that you know can be well behaved? Either this movie isn't perfect, or Hiccup's a little more conflicted than I thought. And maybe Hiccup's just a double agent, because in a few seconds he accidentally reveals that Toothless knows where the dragon's nest is. Hiccup's dad wants to destroy this nest. However, as you know, it is not too easy to interrogate a dragon. They can't talk, so Hiccup's dad just ties the dragon up and puts him on a boat, sailing off in order to try and find the nest. And I quickly want to say that this moment is really dark for a kid's movie. At this point, Toothless is much more than a dragon. It's a lot to see him in chains like this. After his sacrifice, Toothless's priorities are clear. Toothless's number one priority is back at home, and even though it looks like he was giving up when he saw his best friend off, our man has a plan. As Hiccup hatches his plan, preparing for his moment of sacrifice, the Vikings have found the nest and attacked this behemoth. You remember all the way back to Hiccup feeding Toothless and him giving Hiccup some food back? Yeah, this was the other meaning. All the dragons are like bees, and this is their queen. They steal food from the Viking island and give it to their mother. The Vikings did not hear Toothless out on this little detail, so they try to fight this monster while leaving Toothless tied up on the boat. In this battle, the boat gets caught on fire, and as it breaks, in comes Hiccup on Dragonback, with all of his buddies from school also on Dragonback. Hiccup, without hesitation, goes for Toothless and swims after him, getting deeper and deeper into the ocean. Now, I'd like to say Hiccup got there. Although he just about gives his life for his friend, Toothless keeps drowning. That's when Stoic comes in, baby. Oh, sorry, I mean Hiccup's dad. This creates a very sweet moment between these two, and it doesn't really concern us for this video, so we're going to move past it. This guy saves Toothless, and the boys are back together. With the mother dragon still alive, the boys pull a great maneuver that leaves her crashing into the ground. As a fiery explosion the size of a bomb goes off, Toothless and Hiccup try to escape, but Hiccup can't hold on. He falls in the fire, and without hesitation, Toothless goes for Hiccup. He dives after him, getting deeper and deeper into the fire. Right now, we can't say if Toothless got there. Although he just about gives his life for his friend, Hiccup keeps falling. As the smoke clears, Hiccup's dad is left staring at a fireproof Toothless in front of him. Hiccup cannot be seen, so his dad falls to the ground and mutters, "I'm sorry." At this very moment, Toothless opens his wings and reveals a semi-scarred Hiccup. Nothing much, just missing a foot and an ankle. These acts of dual sacrifice bring Toothless and Hiccup's relationship full circle. These two are much more than a dragon and a rider. The shared experience of sacrifice and survival brings them to an unbreakable bond. At the end of the film, we're back to the Viking island. As Hiccup heals from his injuries, Toothless sits restlessly by his bedside. When Hiccup awakes, he is greeted by his excited dragon and his brand new foot. This is a nice visual parallel of Toothless losing his tail wing and Hiccup losing his foot. To me, it symbolizes how intertwined these friends' fates have become. This marks the end of our friendship exploration as we look forward to whenever I decide to watch the other movies. On that note, I think that the development of Toothless and Hiccup in this movie makes me want to watch 2 and 3 less. What these filmmakers have created here is something special. A friendship beyond words. A bond that evolves from one of cautious curiosity to deep trust and loyalty. It took many moments of mutual recognition, sacrifice, and luckily for me, symbolic parallels. All this in order to meet a level of trust met only when you learn how to train your dragon. And with that, thanks for watching, Andy. Specifically you, Andy. I had a lot of fun making this one, and like I said, I am still debating whether or not to watch 2 or 3. Let me know your opinion on that, of whether I should or not in the comments. Oh, and I also highly recommend going to see Wild Robot in theaters because I still think they're there. But that is about it, so deuces.